Alright, so I made a kitchen island. It's kind of funky, it's kind of small, and the stools that I have are just too damn big. They stick out over the overhang. So I'm going to make some rustic stools that fit in the area that I have. So I'm going to look around my pile of poop that I call wood, and I'm gonna make something. All right, here we go. What? Okay, so I went around my wood pile and I found some stuff that would make good legs and the butt, the seat part. So the legs are just stuff I had laying around. I cut them 26 inches long, and they're 2.5 by 2.5. They're pretty beefy, but that's what I had, and I don't like to waste wood, so I thought stronger legs is better than weak legs. And like I said, my island is pretty small, so in order to make 3 stools, I have a wife and a child, so that's 3. I found this wood, and it's 11 1/4 wide, and it is 16 inches long, and that will be the butt. And then I'm going to use those pallet boards to wrap the top edge and make a brace along the bottom where you can kind of put your feet on it when you're sitting there. You know, most of the stuff that I make, I've never made it before. I've never made a stool. I don't know what I'm doing. A lot of time I'll look at something. I was in a bar and they had rustic stools, and I was like, I kind of just looked at it, how it was built, took a picture of it. Just go from there, you know. You just figure it out. It's not that hard. If it fails and you make a stool and you fall off of it, then, you know, figure out what you did wrong. Try it again. So, you know, I'm no expert. You could probably make this better than I can, but it's rustic. Seems pretty simple. So, sand the shit out of it, clear coat it, and hopefully it'll look dope. I will show you the process. All right. Sanding, yay! So the butt part, the top, you know, they're not bad shape. I'm gonna have to fill some holes, and I'll do some more sanding. You know, but the legs that I chose, they're not the best. They've been outside a while. They're kind of, you know, I mean, you can see what the cut side looks like, you know, versus what was outdoor, you know. So I'm gonna really like get crazy on these and sand them with the belt sander, and just kind of round off the edges and make sure there's no splinters and big stuff. And when you're belt sanding with such a heavy grit, I mean, this is 50 grit, so it's very intense. You want to go with the grain, because if you go against it, you're going to create really big scratches, and then you got to sand those things out, especially if you're clear coating. So here we go, sanding. I'm going to be sanding for a while. You just keep going. You know, till it feels right to you. So I'm going to do some sanding. I'll be back. My God, I can barely hold this phone up. I was belt sanding for 4 hours. 4 hours of sanding. I hate sanding. If anyone wants to give me a present for like Christmas or something, a planer would be amazing, because damn. So I just walked to the Minimart. I had to get me a beer because my arm is dead. I am tired. I don't even know why I do this. These better turn out tight. That's all I gotta say. Otherwise, I'm gonna be pissed. All right. Tomorrow I'll get back at it. I'm not done sanding. I gotta sand more. I gotta palm sand. I'm gonna sand for like days. I should have just stained them. I don't know why. I'm like, I'm gonna clear coat them. It's just more work. All right. Till tomorrow, my lovelies. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting up all the pallet pieces for my bracing, so I don't have to, so I can give it a quick sand, so I don't have to sand it all once it's together. I mean, I probably will do that as well, but it'll be easier if I do it with the pieces. So normally I would 45 the corners and make it all pretty and shit, but this is like rustic, so I'm just gonna bang it out. So I'm just gonna do, you're gonna see the grain on the ends. So these are all the side pieces. I'm just cutting them all the same. So I just have them all cut. And then I'll cut the long side, and then I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so I got all my side pieces cut. So they'll go on the short side like that. Closer here. They'll go on the short side like that. And then I'll cut a long piece to butt up against this part and do like a wrap around. And then I'll also be able to, when the legs come down, I'll be able to drill into the legs. So I got all those cut, and then I cut enough to do down low where the legs for like your feet. So it should all be the same size. So I cut that. I also did some wood filler on the holes on the butt part, so I can sand it, make it nice. That's drying, so I'm gonna keep cutting some pallet wood and give it a quick sand and start putting this thing together. So here we go. Okay, so I just did a quick belt sand on all my pallet pieces, just to get them smoothed out and shit. And I'm gonna have to sand everything again, you know. And I'm gonna have to put it together and sand it again. It's a lot of sanding. It's a lot of sanding. Oh, but I didn't want to go crazy on the pallets because I kind of want all the junk and everything to come through. All right, just to kind of show you what I'm doing. This is the top sideboard. Go like that. All right. And then got the other board, and we'll just kind of wrap around. It'll just wrap around the butt part like that. So when you do that, you have to account for the distance of the side part. So this is 3/4 inch wood. You got 3/4 on one side, 3/4 on the other side. So you have to add 1.5 inches to the distance of your butt plate so that it squares up nice. And if it's not perfect, you know, you're gonna do more sanding, you're gonna clean it up and everything, but you wanna get it as close as you can. So, got our pieces, sanded forever. Finally time to put it together. Yay, us. Okay. Butt part, upside down, flat surface. That way these are gonna be flush with the ground, okay? Wood glue. Now, if you're gonna stain it, wood glue does not stain. So, you know, you're gonna wanna be very cautious on how much you put on if you're using wood glue and you're gonna stain. If you're gonna clear coat it, it doesn't really matter because it's gonna do what it, you know, it will clear coat. You can also wash it off with water. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop it in place. Here's my nail gun. few nails in it so it stays where I want it to go. Okay, boom. I'm gonna do the other side. And I'm also picking which side is the nicest edge to sit. You know, the bad side is gonna be up. So it'll look nice and flush. Wood glue. And a lot of times you can just firm this up with your fingers, like level it up, and make sure it's where you want it. I'm using very long nails just to really get up in there. Alright. Side pieces. Now look, if it's not perfect, it's not perfect. What are you gonna do, right? You're gonna sand it. You're gonna sand. If this doesn't line up perfectly with your edges, right, and you got, like, it's long on one side or something like that, just try to get it as close as you can, and you're gonna sand it again so you can clean it up. So. I went ahead and shot a nail into the uprights as well, just because. It's kind of weird because you are doing this upside down, you know. So you want to be kind of aware that the things you're doing, you want the kind of bad side up in the air, and I don't know, it's kind of awkward. All right. So you got your bottom part done, and that's gonna take some sanding. I gotta clean these edges up. Yeah, right there. See that? See that edge? You're gonna sand that, smooth that corner. You know, you're never done sanding. You have to put in some work. But when you put it on a nice flat surface, you get, you know, you do get it nice and flush, which is what you're going for. So, okay, pick some legs. Now I'm doing bracing across here. So I kind of want to, and my wood's jacked up. I mean, I'll show you. I'll show you a jacked up piece. Look at that piece. It's got a freaking hole in it, okay? So I don't want that on the outside where that's gonna go. So this might not sit flat. I mean, I know the pieces I cut were I've been sanding and it's irregular, and you know, this might not be square. I don't know. So I'm just gonna push them in the corner so that they're tight in this corner, and I'm just gonna wood glue and nail them and then go from there. So this is all an experiment to me as well. So some wood glue, big glue at the bottom. You probably couldn't even see that because the camera, the other leg's in the way. Just push it into the corner as much as I can. Pop a few nails in it. Okay. Now I am going to screw these down. I don't know. This is just to get it together. You see that? Big old wood glue. Okay, get in the corner. And what's nice is with the nails and the wood glue, you can still manipulate it if you want to move it. You know, if it needs to be wiggled a little bit here and there. Okay, those two are good. One thing you don't want to do is put your hand right where the nail might shoot out. It's happened before. Nail shoots out, hits a knot, curves, you got your hand back there. Whoosh, boom, right into your hand. Not cool, man. Not cool at all. I came up with 12 inches from the bottom for my leg foot support thing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go around and mark 12 inches around here. And remember, you're upside down, so the 12 inches is the top. So it'll be the bottom of your board. And this probably won't be square or precise. But that's the point, right? Rustic stool. That's one nice thing about saying like the words rustic or reclaimed or whatever. You can get away with things not looking perfect. Because you're like, hey man, it's rustic. It's reclaimed. Who cares? Alright, so good side down. Alright, put a little bead of glue here. Put a little bead of glue here. And try to get this on the lines. It's also good because you can manipulate this. Just put one nail in the corner. Right? Then you can come over here, you can move this leg. And you can get exactly where you're trying to get. I'm gonna do 4. I'm gonna do 4. I feel overboard today. You know, this is not done. All right, you got this. You cannot glue and wood, or glue and just use a nail gun to put this damn thing together. It's not gonna work. So it will fall apart if you try that. Good side down, man. See, even I'm getting confused. All right, a little bit of glue. Down, a little bit of glue. Until you can't see what I'm doing. Okay. So, put it on here. Line it up with that mark. Okay, it's not very straight, so I'm gonna make it straight. Make it on my mark. One nail on the bottom. Now I can still mess with it. So when I get over here, yeah, see, I gotta kick this leg out. I gotta put some pressure on it. Not bad. All right, now our middle pieces. And I got wood everywhere around here. Jesus, it's getting confusing. Okay, 2 middle pieces, upside down. All right, it's not too bad. A little bit of glue, a little bit of glue. That was a lot of glue. So if you're worried about what edge to line up, it's probably going to be the one that's visual on the bottom or on the top. I'm getting confused. Oh, I just smeared wood glue everywhere. Damn it. Jesus. Alright, push this out. Line her up. This one so you can see what I'm doing. So the good side, you don't want people catching their foot on this, right? So you want the best side down. A little glue, a little bit of glue. Like I said, man, seriously, if you're gonna stain this, watch out with the glue, because it does not stain and you'll be pissed. Because you will be sitting there sanding out glue. Okay, I'm gonna line it up with the bottom edge. And I'm gonna put a nail in it. And I'm gonna come over here, and I got a lot of space here, so I'm gonna try to pry this leg out and try to get this thing squared up as much as I can to reduce my sanding, because I hate the sanding. I'm gonna pop it. You know, 4 nails, 1 in each corner. Yeah, wood glue going everywhere. If you were staining this, if you start getting wood glue like that and it's dripping down, get a wet rag. Water will take it off. So I don't have any water right now, so if you're squeamish, look away, because I'm gonna spit on it. And I'm just gonna wipe it, because it's dripping everywhere. Okay, I mean, that's not bad. There's high spots, there's low spots, whatever. Sanding is gonna take care of that. But, ta-da, you have the beginnings of your rustic stool. I gotta put some screws in here. If you don't screw this thing together, it's gonna wobble, it's gonna fall. Shit, it still might. I don't know. I'm hoping it's sturdy. It's pretty damn beefy. But shit happens, you know? So I'm gonna put some screws in it. Always pre-drill your holes with wood. I'm gonna pre-drill my hole. I'm gonna countersink it so that the head goes into the wood. And whatever you're doing, whatever size legs you have, and whatever you got going on, just make sure that the screw is not gonna go through and poke out the other damn side. This is really close, but I want this thing sturdy, so I would rather risk it and, you know, put a little extra screw in there. Okay. When you're screwing these legs, let's say you're screwing down here or right here, You can't have the screws going at the exact same point because the screws are going to run into each other. So you want to go high and low, right? You want to go like, I don't know, an inch down this way and an inch from the other direction so that the screws pass each other in the wood and kind of just help secure it. So I'm gonna start putting in some screws. You want to aim for the middle of the wood, right? So the distance, the thickness of this wood. So to make it right here, I'm gonna aim for 3/4. So I don't poke through the center. And I don't poke through the bottom. I'm going with 3/4. I got a bit that's close to the length of the screw. It's a little shorter. You don't want to actually do the length of the screw, but drill in there. Hey, the bit came off. Okay. All right. So I did that. Now I'm going to countersink it. Which is essentially just going to drill out a hole that's about the head of the screw. You know, don't go deep. Don't go too deep. Don't go through the wood. Defeats the purpose. I'm gonna do three on the long side, 2 on the short side, 3, 2, like that, and then I will just and then I'm gonna screw to the legs, doing that crisscross thing that I said, high and a low, and then I'll do it up here as well, high and a low. So I'm just gonna continue doing that. Ta-da! It's a oil-based semi-gloss, and you never shake clear coat. You always stir it because it will create bubbles and it will make more problems. So use a stir stick. And I'm cheap, and so I go to the dollar store and I buy these cheap brushes, and then I use them and then I throw them away because I don't want to have to clean them with mineral spirits or thinner or whatever. So I use these and then I throw them away, and I can get multiple brushes for $1, so it's no big deal. All right, time to clear coat. It's upside down because you always want to start from the bottom and go down. Okay, so here we go. And this is your first coat, so you're gonna do multiple coats. So if you miss a spot, it's not the end of the world. You'll be doing more, trust me. So I'm gonna go around, I'm gonna do all the insides, I'm gonna do the outsides, I'm gonna do this bottom edge and the front. I'm gonna leave the top edge, and then when I flip it, I'm gonna do the top edges and I'm gonna do the bottom. So just kind of work your way from the inside out, and you shouldn't miss a spot. So that's pretty much how it goes. So that's one coat on the bottoms and the legs, and you can really see the difference. That's uncoated. And there's your first coat. I mean, you can really see the way it just makes that grain pop. You know? So, you know, you put 3 coats on this baby, it's gonna look nice. All right, so I got one coat on all the undersides. And what I mean by that is all the inside parts, all the inside stuff. And I went ahead and coated this outside part. And so when I flip it, the only thing I have left is this top piece right here and the main wraparound part and the underneath, the big butt part. What I did, I took a rag and I wiped any drips that may have dripped down onto my face. I just went and wiped this really quick so that it's not just dripping down onto it while this dries, and then I can flip it. I can do the top. Oil is great. I mean, it takes longer to dry, but it's harder. But the fact that it takes longer to dry helps you, because if you have screw holes and nails and knots and stuff like I do, it's gonna pool. The finish is gonna pool in there, right? And it's gonna cause a drip. So because it has a longer working time, you can go ahead and kind of look around your project and feather some of that out before it becomes a problem. So that's what I do. I just go around as it's setting up and it's starting to dry. I just look around it and make sure I don't have any major drips coming out. I mean, like, you know, all these knots and this giant hole. I mean, it's a drip waiting to happen. So I just kind of make sure it's setting up cleanly. And you know, this is the first coat. You're gonna do 2 or 3. So you can go ahead. I mean, you know, if you miss a spot, it's not the end of the world. You're gonna get it. You're gonna do a light sand on it, and you're gonna coat it again. So you'll probably hit all the spots. So you'll be good. I'm a factory baby. All right, got that first coat on there. Looks pretty good. After that first coat, it's gonna raise the grain, so you're gonna want to sand it really quick with some light sandpaper, like some 220, and just get that grain down. You're not sanding wood anymore. You're just kind of taking that rough off the finish. So you're just gonna do a quick sand, and you can always feel it and see how smooth it is. And if you need to do more, do more. Do less, do less. And especially if you stained it, you really don't want to burn through that finish. And watch out for your edges, because the more you go over the edges, you can burn right through it. And if you stained it, you can burn all the way down to the stain and make a light spot. So you just want to give it a light sand, make it nice and smooth again. You're going to want to take a rag or air or something and get all this dust off that you create. And then you're going to coat it again. Okay, so 2 coats later, there you go. Finished product. They turned out pretty nice. They have a nice sheen to them. They fit really nice under the island. And I did have to put some little felt, like sticky pads, under the legs to kind of get rid of some wobble and make them slide nicely on the floor. But they turned out pretty great, and I hope yours did too. And go ahead and like and subscribe, and let's make more stuff together. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching. I hope you learned something.